Welcome to the Sisterhood of Sweat. I'm here today with John Lee Dumas. John Lee Dumas is the founder and host of the award-winning podcast Entrepreneurs on Fire, with over 1 million listens a month, 2,600 episodes published, and 7 figures of annual revenue. JLD has achieved financial freedom and fulfillment and is dedicated to helping others achieve the same. Are you prepared to ignite? Oh gosh, you guys, right before my interview with the great JLD, my computer completely crashed, froze. I was working on it for 20 minutes. And then because I was prepared, I had my iPad and my earbuds charged, and I just hopped on. Not ideal. So if I hadn't podcasted as many episodes, not even close to his, I'm probably at like 260, whereas he is in the higher digits for podcasting. I would have been so frazzled. I would have been so ruffled when I first started podcasting. And so I think, the more we do something, the more we jump in, maybe we're not ready for certain things when we first start, but the only way to be ready is to start, because you can't compare your chapter 1 to somebody's chapter 20. And today we talk about entrepreneurs, how to get through their fears, how to unhook from other people's opinions, what to do when you are an entrepreneur and you're chasing those big dreams, but you only have one toe in the water. Oh gosh, JLD gives such great advice. You're going to want to put this on repeat. It is gold. The more you do something, the better you become at it. And he gave such good advice to all entrepreneurs out there for seeking their dreams, living their lives full out and on fire. Without further ado, I want to dive into this episode. Promises to be a treat. I am so excited to welcome the infamous John Lee Dumas to the Sisterhood of Sweat. Welcome.
Love the name, love the energy, love the vibe. I cannot wait to have a little conversation and drop some value bombs today.
Oh my gosh, I'm beyond excited. I've been catching up on some of your episodes, and I always like to know a lot about my guests before I have them on, and I was so deeply inspired, and I am more than sure you could make basket weaving sound exciting. How in the world is this like a skill? Is this a gift? How did you develop this? I don't know. It made me want to tune in to more episodes. It just felt exciting.
Well, thank you. I can definitely say you use the right word, like develop. Like it's absolutely something that's developed over time. I mean, when I launched back in December of 2012, you can go back and listen to those episodes. Like there wasn't much energy in my voice. There wasn't much enthusiasm, not because I wasn't excited or enjoying what I was doing. I just didn't have that level of comfort. I just didn't have that level of passion that I've now been able to develop because I've honed my skills. I've put in the reps. I've really worked at my craft, and I just enjoy it so much now. Like I love public speaking. I love presenting from stage. I just finished up, with a keynote presentation for a virtual conference called We Are Podcast. Like I literally love the art of delivering value, having conversations, presenting, public speaking. And it wasn't always that way. So I definitely did have to develop it. And I actually would kind of equate it to anybody who's practiced an instrument. Like the first few times you try to play the harmonica, like, is it really fun? Like trying to like squeeze your lips into like one little note. But then like you start getting good and now all of a sudden you're playing like a harmony and people are like, wow, that was awesome. Then you're like, man, this is fun. I have passion. I have excitement for it. So, just because you don't have passion or excitement for something right at the beginning, but you know it's something you want to develop, give it time. And that excitement, that passion, that energy, it could bloom.
I love it. I love it so much. What advice would you give to entrepreneurs out there that are sitting on the edge of their dreams with one toe in the water?
I say, listen, you are going to die. And like, I'm not trying to be morbid. I'm not trying to freak anybody out, but you're going to die. And there's an amazing book that's called The 5 Biggest Regrets of the Dying that I would recommend anybody reading that's in that situation that you're talking about right now. And their biggest regrets are multiple, but the one that really makes sense here is that they didn't pursue their dream in a timely manner. They had their dream. It was always not today, maybe tomorrow. And then tomorrow never came. And now they're on their last days of earth and they are filled with nothing but regrets. And there's no worse way to leave this world than filled with regrets. Like that is a sad, disappointing, just unbelievably, poor way of leaving this world. When if you could just rewind the clock and not just have that toe in, but just to jump in whole hog, that, hey, at least I know now. Like maybe it didn't work out. Maybe I didn't accomplish my dream or achieve this or that, but I tried and now I know, and I don't have regret for not trying and not ever knowing. So let's just circle back. You're going to die. And I'm not going to say it again during this interview because I know people don't like to hear that, but it's true.
What is your biggest antidote for fear?
It's actually the acronym, which is fear, false evidence appearing real. And that's what fear is. It's false evidence appearing real. Like you're fearful of something, it's in your head, it's in your mind. Like, of course, there are real life situations you should be fearful of something, running into a road that has crazy traffic, like jumping 60 feet off of a ledge into water. Like there are things you are rightfully so to be fearful of. But in so many situations in your life right now, fear is nothing more than false evidence appearing real. So burst that fear bubble, jump on in, make it happen. I was so fearful of public speaking, of interviewing people, of all these things when I first started. But guess what? I did it. I kept doing it. My fear diminished a little bit over time. And now it's the exact opposite. Like I so look forward to these conversations and to doing these type of things because that fear was nothing but false evidence appearing real.
And many times that is all it is once you face that fear and you get to the other side, you're wondering, why was I so afraid?
So true.
Yeah, I love it. What is the top 3 attributes that you believe every successful entrepreneur must possess?
By far, the top 3 is being productive, disciplined, and focused. I've interviewed 2,700 successful entrepreneurs, and every entrepreneur that I interviewed that's successful has at least one of those 3 attributes. Most have 2, and the most successful have all 3. But I want to kind of clarify each one of those. What does being productive mean? So many people are like, I was so busy today. I was running around like a chicken with my head cut off. Believe me, they were not productive. They were not producing the right content. They were doing busy work that's not moving the right ball forward. Being productive is producing the right content. What's being disciplined? Being disciplined is being a disciple to a plan of action. It's waking up every morning, having a plan of action, and executing that. That is what being disciplined means. And then focused, just like with fear, that amazing acronym. I love this acronym for focus. Follow one course until success. Follow one course until success. That is what focus means. And that is what is going to get you to where you want to be. So many people, They are so spread out doing a million different things at the same exact time. And they're wondering why they're not becoming good at anything or making progress at anything. It's because they lack focus.
Yeah. Focusing on that one thing. Oh my gosh. What would you like to say that you haven't said to all entrepreneurs out there?
You know, it's actually an Albert Einstein quote. It's try not to become a person of success, but rather a person of value. I see so many people chasing success, whatever their version of success is. And it's a hollow game because their version of success, it's not giving the type of value to the world that's going to achieve exactly what it is they really want, which is freedom, financial freedom, lifestyle freedom, location freedom, whatever that freedom may be. So when I stopped chasing success and instead I flipped it on its head and said, how can I become a person of value? That's when I launched a daily podcast interviewing entrepreneurs. And for every single day for 5.5 years, 2,000 episodes, I released an episode with an interview with a successful entrepreneur. I became a person of value and success followed that.
How do we become a person of value? Give us some tips on that.
Number one, you identify a real problem that people in the world are having and you become the best solution. And if you don't think you can become the best solution, it's because the problem's not niche enough. So you need to identify a real problem that people are having that you can provide the best solution for, and then you provide that solution over and over and over again, and you will not be able to help but being successful.
How do you get these great guests? I mean, I've been listening to a few, and Ed Milet for one. How do you connect with them, reach out to them, and get them excited to be on your show?
So when you first start, like for me back in 2012, it was just straight up hustle. Like I had to put in the work. I got 8 out of 10 people said no. And I just had to keep putting in the asks, keep putting in the work, slowly but surely building my audience, building my platform, building my brand, building my reputation, slowly over time. Then you hit a tipping point. And then all of a sudden now you're having 5 people a week reach out to you to be on your show. Then it's 10, then it's 100. Now where I'm at now, I get between 400 to 600 people every single month reaching out to me to be on Entrepreneurs on Fire. That's for 12 spots. So 400 to 600 people really requesting to be one of 12 spots that we have available on our show. That took time. That took the tipping point, but it started with just putting in the work, hustling, putting in the reps, getting 8 or 9 no's out of every 10 asks, and then building a platform now where every successful entrepreneur has heard Entrepreneurs on Fire. They know the brand. They know Tony Robbins has been on my show 3 times. Ed Milet's been on my show. Barbara Corcoran, Brian Tracy, you fill in the blank, Tim Ferriss, Gary Vaynerchuk. It's like now that I've had these people on the show multiple times, it sells itself. And now people come to me.
I love that. You made me a fan of Gary Vee now. I have never listened to him ever until today, even though I know he's famous and all.
Yeah, listen, and he strikes a lot of people with the wrong way, which I get. I call myself Gary Vee 180 because in so many ways, I'm the opposite of Gary Vee. Like I believe small team, I have 5 people on my team. He has over 800. You know, I live here in Puerto Rico. I'm in my spare bedroom right now, like in my studio. Like I work, you know, a handful of hours a day on average. He's the exact opposite. That way makes him happy. This way makes me happy. The key is you need to know what's going to make you happy and then chase that dream.
I love that. Oh my gosh, so many great things. Now, how do you get a person to really unhook from other people's opinions? Like, I think that's what holds a lot of people back, entrepreneurs, business owners, people out there living their dreams, many times are just held back by what other people may think.
You need to get over yourself. Just like you know you're going to die, you are going to die. I said I wasn't going to say that again, but it just, this question, it just leads too perfectly to it because it's so true. You're going to die. get over yourself. If you're going to let other people's opinions affect the choices that you make, that's really sad, because at the end of the day, they don't really care about you. I don't care if it's your mother, your father, your brother, your sister, your best friends. At the end of the day, like, they're worried about themselves, period, end of story. And you chasing your dream and maybe being successful, like, that's scary to them, because then that makes them look in the mirror and be like, now I'm the loser who hasn't chased my dream. And it's true, they are the loser for not chasing their dream. So they're going to try to drag you down and drag you back. And you just need to cut those people out of your life and stop caring about what they think. The only person you should be caring about is yourself. And again, if you have a significant other and kids, they need to factor into the equation. But beyond that, nobody matters.
Such great advice. What would you say to somebody is your biggest advice to give them in pursuit of their dreams?
So it's really going to go back to something that we've shared. Like, we've really kind of built a nice theme throughout this interview, is that number one, if you're going to chase your dreams and you're going to accomplish those dreams, it's going to be because you've identified a problem that you are both passionate and skilled at providing a solution for. So here's a problem. I have the skills and the passion to solve that problem. That's the equation. That's it. That's everything. Problem, I've got the passion and the expertise to solve this problem. That's how you're going to win. There was not a daily podcast interviewing entrepreneurs when I launched my podcast, Entrepreneurs on Fire. I filled a void that needed being filled. I solved a problem that wasn't being solved. The day that I launched, I was the best daily podcast interviewing entrepreneurs. I was the worst daily podcast interviewing entrepreneurs. I was the only daily podcast interviewing entrepreneurs. That's why I won. I was providing the best solution and the only solution to a real problem. That's why I won, and that's how you can win.
What is your greatest why? And lastly, a favorite quote?
My greatest why is the ripple effects. I don't care about my legacy. I don't. Some people love legacy. Good for them. I don't care about my legacy. But I love the fact that knowing that my podcast or my courses or my books are going to inspire people out there to do something that they're passionate about. And those people are going to inspire others, who are then going to inspire others. And it's just this ripple effect of awesomeness. That's my why. That's my passion. The day that I die, if nobody even remembers or says my name again, I'm cool with that, because guess what? I'm past. I'm gone. I'm in the grounds. It's over. I'm fine. But that ripple effect is powerful. And honestly, like I said, I love themes. So my quote that I really want to hammer home to people: don't try to become a person of success. Become a person of value. What are you doing every day to be productive, disciplined, and focused in a specific area of value?
So great. And I just want to thank you and acknowledge you so much for being a positive force in everybody's life. And I love the title, Entrepreneurs on Fire. I love that so much. And also, could you just tell everybody really quick about your Mastery Journal?
So the Mastery Journal is what we've been talking about here today. It's how to master productivity, master discipline, and master focus in 100 days. So check out the masteryjournal.com. You can learn more about the journal there. Also, you can find more about me, eofire.com. That's our website. We have a ton of free courses there for entrepreneurs. Thank you for your kind words about Entrepreneurs on Fire, which is our podcast. And you asked some fantastic questions today. So for that, I thank you.
Thank you so much. And it was my absolute honor and privilege to have JLD on the Sisterhood of Sweat today. Thanks.
Adios.
How did you guys like it? It reminds me of so many things when I think back through my entrepreneurial journey, things you guys don't know about me unless you were there for some of it. I can remember, and I've said this in another episode, where I would only sell at this gym that I went to, where I thought I had to leave another place that I was at because I could see that fitness was not going anywhere. They were trimming down space instead of adding space, and taking out equipment instead of, being on the trend of what's happening out there. And so I was looking for another job. I literally changed clothes on the way to my interview. I was a single mom raising 2 kids. Fitness is my passion. And I remember getting to this interview and thinking, this guy is like a used car salesman. But I knew what I wanted, and I knew what I was willing to trade off to get it. I wanted to coordinate. I wanted to coordinate aerobics. I wanted to teach classes. And so if I had to sell for him, okay. Now I'm so glad I have that in my arsenal for what I'm about to do with my business. And every little thing, I still remember when I was at another gym. I was trying to think, I hadn't been married but maybe 6 months. And I went to this small gym after I had managed this huge gym. And I never went to college. Of course, now I went to school when I was 50, but at that time I was just a mom, not that being a mom is any less than, because it certainly isn't. But I'm just saying I hadn't really worked full time. I had no clue about working on computers. And I remember when I'm in this interview, and this is the same guy that taught me how to took me through my first Nautilus workout back in the day, and taught me how to use all the machines at the other gym. Now he's owning a gym, and I'm at this interview with him. I'm like, I promise I'll learn how to use the computer if you hire me. I mean, when I think back over these things, they're so funny, but yet just so significant of the journey that we are all on when we're learning how to achieve and how to overcome obstacles. And just going back to a funny story, I worked at that same gym of the used car salesman for several years. And that's where I feel like I really cut my teeth. Like I really learned so much from him, how to sell, how to close, also goal setting. He spoke about how it always helped him to bring in more income and achieve if he set a goal. So that's what he would do to increase his income. He would think about something he really wanted, and then he would set that goal to go after it. Simple science, right? Not anything super complicated. Well, we used to have this thing called PL. I would go PLing. And what is that? Oh my goodness. It is chasing people down in the grocery store parking lot and getting them to come to the gym. Right, that's right. I did that. I did cold calling. I did whatever I needed to do to survive, take care of my children, help others, and put food on that table. And so many more stories, you guys, but I just think you all probably have journeys and stories on your entrepreneurial journey that people could relate to. It makes you relatable, and also it shows you how far you've come when you arrive at your destination of your dreams. You take one step after the other, and now I'm the one with the facility. I'm the one with the gym. And it's ironic that I never in a million years, when I was that girl in the parking lot, would have seen myself in the role of entrepreneur on the same exact road, having my own gym. So you never know where you might end up when you get started and just put one foot after the other. Dig deep and have grit and tenacity and persevere to your biggest, boldest dreams. Go get it, you guys. I hope you enjoyed this episode today. I know I will be listening to it, though it was 15 minutes. Well, it was a little over. I'm a pusher, so we were a little over my time. But John Lee is such a pro. I hope you guys really enjoy all of the golden nuggets that he dropped today. And DM me, let me know what your big dreams are. Bye, everybody.